Bill, it's great to have you with us, and we got to start by asking, how real of a threat is this?
Yeah. Hi, guys. Great to be here. Thanks for having me. I think this is going to go down 2018. If 2017 was the year of ransomware, 2018 is going to be the year of crypto jacking. It is amazing to see the rate of growth that the reports are coming out in various flavors, whether it be in businesses and in governments and consumers. This is really the perfect cybercrime in many ways, and so therefore you see a lot of activity here.
Bill, let's take a step back and tell us, what exactly is crypto jacking? How does it work?
Okay, so crypto jacking really is just the latest way to take advantage of, or the way that exploiters take advantage of weaknesses in our applications and in our IT environments. And as opposed to other forms of hacking, where you steal data and then you go sell that data on the dark web, or you may use ransomware to get the economic benefit of a hack. In the case of cryptojacking, you get into the systems through a variety of mechanisms, and you put a piece of software that is basically mining software, which basically prints digital currency. You accumulate that currency and cash it out through the open market. And you can do that in a very untraceable way, and that's why you see such a run-up in it. So it's really using other people's systems to generate digital money.
Bill, you were a former executive for IBM's cloud services, and you said 2 years ago that you saw this and public service. You saw this free and public service, right, hacked by crypto miners. So explain to us what exactly you saw there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think what we saw, we were in the process of rolling out cloud computing services, and one of the things we did to help with an on-ramp of enterprises and other people to use our services was we offered a free tier where you could use a limited bit of compute capacity to go test the service out. And we were delighted because we had so much utilization of this free tier service, because we thought it was a bunch of enterprises trying to service. And what we found is one of our really smart researchers who was on the front end of this, and who's aware of this problem, right? It all begins with being aware that there's this new type of exploit. Dug deeper and found that, hey, these weren't really legitimate enterprises who were trying our service. It was an early wave of cryptojackers who were finding the cheapest way to go take advantage of someone else's resources. And at that time, it was our free service and IBM's cloud environment. And of course, we were able to defend against that going forward.
Bill, very briefly, the news site Salon recently said that it was offering this idea of cryptojacking legally to actually help supplement its journalism and supplement its ads. What do you make of companies actually coming out and being open about cryptojacking and asking the permission of people who are visiting websites if they can actually use their processing power to help process crypto?
Yeah, I think it's a really important, I'm glad you brought that up, because some of what is being kind of bundled into cryptojacking is really a really new creative way to use digital currencies to create more value for consumers. So in the case of Salon, you can offer, as opposed to serving up ads to finance that consumer experience, which is the classic way things are done, you can ethically use a piece of software that can generate in the same way that a illegitimate piece of software can use your computing power to generate money that you take for your advantage. A website can use that same software, and just through your browser can generate cryptocurrency that way, and it can offer that as an alternative to rotating ads and other things that consumers may choose as a better path.
Bill, talking about this threat here, there was a report in February about Tesla, its cloud resource, actually being hacked by crypto miners as well. Walk us through exactly what happened here at Tesla.
Yeah, at Tesla, this is an example of they had a cloud environment, as many companies do these days, of course, leveraging the power of these third-party cloud providers. And they have a large part of their IT environment in Amazon. And what the hackers were able to do is to get into those systems, okay? And once they were in there, they downloaded the mining software and started to use Tesla's infrastructure in a very hidden way to go generate and print this digital money, right? And so it's just an example of wherever the weaknesses are, whether those weaknesses are in open source libraries that developers embed into applications. We saw a very big exploit last week around a product called Jenkins, which had a vulnerability that was exploited. If you have a cloud environment that is not properly secured, then it's going to be taken advantage of. And again, the way that the current bad guys are going to do that is by putting the software in there and start printing money. And you guys, you pay the bill. Tesla was paying the bill to Amazon for that network and for that computing that was needed to generate that money, but the bad guys took the money. And what Tesla was able to do, and I think this is the message to people, right, is if you stay current with your security tools and you make sure that you're using the latest techniques, the security market is figuring out that this is the latest threat surface, right? So in the case of Tesla, they were able to use a very modern cloud security product that was able to find this, right? And then they were able to shut it off before it came too long, right? In the case of this exploit, I mentioned it was taking advantage of an open source library. This is part of what our business Sonatype does, is help developers know that they're going to bring in components into their applications which are trustworthy. And we've known for many, many months that there was this vulnerability and helped our clients fix them. But in the case of the folks who hadn't yet fixed them and aren't using the modern and latest techniques to make sure that their applications and environments aren't vulnerable, the old existing openings and weaknesses in the environments are going to be exploited, and more they're going to be exploited by these crypto hackers.
Well, also too, if you are a consumer, we had referenced some of the things there with the full screen of steps that you should actually take here. Also too, are there regulations, Bill, you think that should be put in place that could combat this further?
Yeah, I think, listen, at the end of the day, the good guys are losing, right? The bad guys are finding ways, whether it's this way or last year with ransomware, there's always going to be a new way that the bad guys are attacking applications and IT environments. And we're losing the battle. And what we got to do is we got to find a way to change the way that we fight it, okay? And part of that is I think government can play a great role. I mean, look, let's think about what happened in the airline industry. Flying wasn't very safe until governments actually got really involved, right? Automobile industry, I think government played a really interesting role there, right? So we can't just say, hey, it's the responsibility of government, but I think they can do some really good things. You see a lot of great work happening in Europe. GDPR has been a really valuable push forward, and creating the accountability and having the government play a role in doing that, I think is really important, because open market forces haven't been very good at solving security problems and safety problems. Right? The other thing is that us as consumers and us as business operators is we have to say, hey, it's not just the security team that's going to take care of this. That's just not working. We all have to be accountable. Software developers have to be accountable. That's part of what we're trying to do, is help software developers have their tools so they can solve security problems before they get introduced, right? At home, we have to be accountable for our environments, and business executives can't just be chasing growth. They have to also do so in a very safe way. Otherwise, we're going to have more and more Equifax tragedies, right? So that's a part of what has to change, is a bit of a mindset and accountability, and government can play a key role. You see some good progress happening, but we need to do a lot more.
All right, Bill Karpovich, Senior Vice President of Strategy and Corporate Development at software security company Sonatype. Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks guys, appreciate it.